sculpture, decorating, arts and crafts. These are all the peaks of the culture of the Great Steppe. Textile and felt processing, hunting and carpentry, as well as jewelry. All of these things are the treasures of our national identity. You can watch this program about the precious heritage of our nation, which has come down from many centuries, in the program KazArt on Kazakh TV. The culture of the Kazakh nation is very deep. Typically, Abilhan Kesteyev started his first as an example of drawing oil paintings in the European method. From here we can see all the Kazakh painters who've experienced 1 century, while Europe has experienced oil paint centuries. It is one of our uniquenesses. It started first from naturalism, and then it developed to realism. When we received our independence, a lot of painting styles rose in our country. In those years, there was an economic and spiritual crisis. Painters divided into 2 groups. Young painters were supported by the cosmopolitan ideas from different foreign organizations. As a result, a painter who went that direction left their compositions to be sold, and the compositions of national themes were also left behind. Typically in those years, a young painter who had a great national spirit was noticed in a new way. One of them was Jibek Jubaniyazov, the laureate of the Republic and international competitions, and winner of the Presidential Scholarship. In that time, only a few painters started to draw in the national theme. Realism and modernism has been developed. Jibek Jubaniyazov was noticed when his civic position was found in another style of national drawing. We can proudly say that one of Jibek Jubaniyazov's paintings, called A Meeting, is kept in the Vatican. In ancient times, currently any artist was not awarded such glory. The composition A Meeting is drawn in the national style. There have also been drawings of 2 couples near a gravestone. A real artist will not brag if someone rich will buy his compositions. Typically, the painter will be proud if his composition is kept in a museum. When our president presented one of my compositions to the Vicar of Christ, I was hesitant, but on the other hand, I was very proud. When I heard about it, I did not understand it and I didn't pay attention. 2 days later, I started to think that my composition would be given to the Vicar of Christ in the Vatican. This is a place of the motherland of art. Great people such as Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci decorated the Vatican.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, сол Ватиканды безендірген.
The uniqueness of Jubaniyazov's painting was that he's close to the gentle lyrics. He draws compositions in a modernist style, but the image is also associated with gentle lyrics. Typically, he draws as an artist of a classicism period. When the artist draws national images, he expresses his paintings by comparing associations. When you see Jubaniyazov's compositions, you can recognize them as having been drawn by him, and you also know other artists have copied these painters. Typically, we see these compositions from abroad that artists have copied from other artists. They also copied Jubaniyazov's compositions as well. You can see his painting signature as his own style. First of all, these styles should develop in the artist's style. Without style, the artist is not an artist. When we discuss the history of a culture, we also discuss the style. If you read about European culture, you can also see realism, the avant-garde, and classicism style. When we talk about modernism, we remember the painting style of Jubaniyazov. Subsequently, there started to be academic lyricism and modernism, which developed in Omarbek's style. If you have a look at his compositions, he concentrates on cultural images. Any of his portrait paintings are given an association with an image, and he tries to promote it. He also has other compositions with other themes, and the artist should love culture, history, and increase the ordinary themes or styles. You also should be an expert in this theme which you have painted. Considering all of this, Jibek is one of the most advanced artists. The singularity of the artist is that he has taken a sample from Europe, and they should have their own signature and image. And from that point, we should not compare any artist with European artists. Typically, every artist has his own thoughts. He researches, and the compositions can tell their opinions. Our artists also have an advanced level with European artists. The abstract style, for example, is well developed in European artists. There is a saying of one scientist that when abstract art develops, we can see a crisis of the spirit in society. There are a lot of artists who draw compositions in that style, but we need artists who have a strong civil view. It requires time. If you develop as a nation, you should also become a person. There are people like the artist Jibek who put efforts in developing the painting culture. They give and develop art in our country for the future. We can say that Jibek is brave. He draws compositions which are difficult and have different themes from other artists that are not able to draw them. In this white canvas, you can see Timurid's empire, the warlords who have organized in the empire of Amir Temir. Kazakh Temir, who was a very cruel man, also paid great attention to the development of art. He also built in the Kazakh land the unforgettable mausoleum of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi.
Бұл шығармада мен алып отқан кейіпкерім Әмір Темір тұлғасы. Мына өздеріңіз білесіңіздер, Арыстан баб, Қожа Ахмет Ясауи мазарын тікелей осы кісінің бұйрығымен тұрғызған.
I have drawn in this composition the hero Amir Temir. As you know, with the order of this person, the Arslan Bab and Yasawi mausoleum was built. Currently they are well known in the world, and we can call them the Kazakh brand. The architecture of the mausoleum is also great. Typically, I have never heard of any artist who has drawn the portrait of Amir Temir. I have thoughts to draw his portrait. That's why I am drawing widely. This is a mausoleum of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi, which I have been drawing behind me.
Тұлғасына әлпетін жазған, портретін жазған суретшілерді білмеппін. Сол өзім бір осы тұлғаның бейнелесем ба деген бір ойым. Сондықтан осындай көлемді бір шығарма жазып атқан артында жаңағы біздің мақтанышымыз Қожа Ахмет Ясауи мазары.
Таңдалған тақырып өте тамаша. Өте бір өзекті, тың тақырып.
Subsequently, he has chosen a great theme, as this theme has not been drawn by other artists. The creative person would like to open something new and step forward from other talented people. Typically, Amir Temir is the first theme of Kazakh culture. I wish to finish it with success. There are opposing viewpoints about Amir Temir. From the side of a portrait of Kazakh Temir, or Timur the Lame, is required from the artist to be a brave decision. And before starting this composition, Jibek made research works for a long time.
Жалпы Әмір Темір тұлғасы енді тарихта әртүрлі күрделі тұлға, әртүрлі тарихшылар баға береді. Бұнда мен ондай мақсат тарихшы ретінде баға берейін деп тұрған жоқпын. Жалпы бұл кісінің артында алған.
As we know from history, historians give different assessments of Amir Temir. Here I am going to give the assessment of Amir Temir. This mausoleum of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi left as a heritage from him to our nation. And we are proud of the mausoleum and keep it till nowadays. If we speak about his compositions, here have been drawn in the mausoleum of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi, which had been finished. In the middle of the composition is the image of a horse of Amir Temir. I have drawn his portrait regarding the research work of the anthropologist Gerasimov. I use classical oil paints. I also draw and sketch on the canvas. I would like to show this composition all over the world, and used machines painting methods. I also want to open the portrait. And here is depicted the elderly age of Amir Temir. I would like to show the warlord as he looked only in the future, and gave himself and provided information for himself.
Өзімнің мүмкіндігіммен, шамаммен көрсеткім келеді. Осы тұлғаны осы шығармада ашып, өзім ойымда бұл кісі жаңағы өзінің қайратты кезі емес, ақсақал болып 69 жасында өмір сүрген адам, сол қартайып, алды-артын есеп беріп, өзінің бір заман кезеңіне келіп, бір түйінді жасайды, соны бергім келген.
The compositions which have drawn historical themes will not be limited only with one history. The historical warrior's battle also takes place in this composition. We would like to say here that Ömerbek's composition has not finished yet about Amir Temir. That's why it will be interesting for the artist's viewer about how this will be finished and how the work will be done on this white canvas.
Оң жағына әлі жеткен жоқпын. Жалпы өзім картинамын бір таразы сияқты бір келтірсем ба деймін. Мына сол жақ картинаның сол жағында Қожа Ахмет Яссауи болса, оң жағында бір баяғы тағы бір көзқарас.
I have not reached the right side of the composition. I would like to finish this work as a comparison. On the left side of the composition having drawn Қожа Ахмет Яссауи, and on the right side I will draw the people who admired this person. I would also like to draw birds next to them. My viewers will be the judge as I have drawn the intricacies of a portrait of a person. Typically it is very difficult to compare as a portrait of a person has not been drawn before. We can say that it is very difficult to compare as a portrait of this person has not been drawn before. We can only see his image in magazines and books as illustrations during invasions. And our artists did draw him on their compositions.
Салыстыру өте қиын. Себебі біраз кітаптарда, журналдарда бұл кісінің жалпы иллюстративтік түрде портреттері, өзінің жаңағы сапарлары, шапқыншылық болсын, басқа да әрекеттері жалпы иллюстратив түрде көрсетіледі. Картина ретінде Қазақстанда суретшілер әлі тоқталмаған.
Subsequently, Қожа Ахмет Яссауи Mausoleum is one of the great architectural art forms which is in Turkestan. The ornaments are decorated in the top of the mausoleum with different colors. Drawing such a great architectural building is not easy to draw on canvas.
Кездейсоқ күнделікті істеп жүрген көлемде болмағасын.
It is a very unique work which has uniqueness from other compositions. The size of the composition is 1.5 to 2 meters. We say it is museum size. You should not just draw. You should draw with a pencil of the mausoleum of Қожа Ахмет Яссауи. And the mausoleum is full of ceramic ornaments. The artist has to draw all the ornaments and show in the composition the singularity of the architecture. It will require a lot of time and to work with light and to show it in the work.
Әсерін бере алу, күн сәулесі түсіп тұрғанда да оның бояулар, өрнектер, сол күнге шағылысып, ойнап тұрған бәрін көрсету керек. Сол өте көп уақыт алады.
Typically, the artist used his paintings in light and color. Ömerbek can also work with light, and it can be used in his paintings to make them very successful. And he has the best compositions, which we will see in the future as well.